I know, right? Whose balls did I have to fondle to get my very own movie?
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Ryan Reynolds just posted a big X-Men X-Force teaser for Deadpool 3, so I'll explain what it means. In classic fashion, he's trying to make as many jokes as possible, giving as many spoilers about the movie away as possible, tongue-in-cheek, clowning on X-Men and X-Force, but it's actually going to be part of the plot of the movie. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. We're also doing a Guardians of the Galaxy 3 IMAX ticket giveaway since the movie's coming out in a couple weeks. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and post all your Deadpool and Wolverine predictions in the comments. Cannot wait to see them ruin the multiverse in the best possible way. It wouldn't be a Deadpool movie if he didn't totally wind up destroying everything in sight while clowning on everybody in all the Marvel movies as much as possible. That's one of the beauties of the Deadpool character, is that Marvel will use him to clown on themselves, on the other Marvel movies.
Thank you, Kevin Feige.
Love you, Kevin Feige. Thank you, MCU.
If you thought him making fun of the X-Men movies was a lot, just wait till you hear him make fun of the Marvel Phase 4 movies. It's gonna be fun. The actual X-Men and X-Force teaser he just released on his Twitter is meant to be part of Deadpool 3. He posted X-Force will never die, then quickly edited that to say X will never die, hoping that people wouldn't see it. But it was a bit tongue-in-cheek, like, oh yeah, we could definitely see what you wrote before this. And it's just meant to be a joke on a couple different things. It's him saying they're going to revisit both the X-Men movies and the X-Force team from Deadpool during the events of Deadpool 3. And it's part of the larger storyline where Deadpool is jumping around the timeline, creating Nexus events, which gets him on the TVA shit list, after which Mobius, Owen Wilson's character who's going to be in the movie, comes after him with TVA agents to prune him, which we learned in the Loki series really just sends them to the Void Planet at the end of time, waiting to be eaten or consumed by Alioth. The planet was basically like a glorified trash dump for the multiverse. Like, they weren't actually killing things, they were just sending it to this void planet, waiting for Alioth to consume it, because Alioth basically consumes entire timelines, entire universes. So they were sending everything that He Who Remains version of Kang didn't like, or was creating Nexus events or leading to evil versions of himself, to this void planet to be eaten by Alioth. Because they're revisiting the X-Men movies and X-Force, I don't know if that means he's going to kill the X-Force team again, because he killed most of the team during Deadpool 2. That was part of the whole joke of the team, like, let's hype it up big time and kill him right off. The X-Force X-Men post is also a joke on the whole naming convention from Deadpool 2, because during the movie, the joke behind the creation of the team was that Deadpool said X-Men was too misogynistic a title for all the women on the team, so he changed the masculine-sounding X-Men name to something more gender-neutral, thus the team became X-Force. X will never die.
As a former X-Man
Trainee.
thank you, Bedlam, I was always appalled by the blatant sexism in the group's name. X-Men? Men? The point is, our group will be forward-thinking, gender-neutral. From now on, we'll be known as X-Force.
Isn't that a little derivative?
And then quickly thereafter, the entire team almost died, with a few exceptions. Like, the post in general is also a reference to Colossus and Domino coming back in the new movie, the surviving members of the team. No words on Josh Brolin's Cable coming back. Kevin Feige did make it sound like he was up for him coming back, like, oh yeah, it'd be totally fine. I think that's just because his performance as Thanos was motion capture, he looked totally different, so he feels like a completely different character when he's Cable. There are actors that do that in Marvel movies all the time, like Michelle Yeoh and Gemma Chan are both characters that just came back after playing other characters. But this is also meant to be just a general joke about Kevin Feige and his snipers coming for him after posting about X-Force. Like, that's why he changed the post to X to be more vague. Don't give away spoilers or Kevin Feige will come for you.
We have no idea how that happened, but I promise you, I'm looking into it.
They're in the middle of working on the movie right now. Hugh Jackman's been posting his Wolverine training videos pretty regularly. He's calling it his Becoming Wolverine Again workouts, because he always has to get in such insane shape to play Wolverine, even if he doesn't have to be shirtless for most of the movie. The way that Ryan Reynolds talked about his version of Wolverine in the movie is that it was a complete departure from all the other versions of Wolverine that he's played before. They will be messing with the timeline, but that's how they're avoiding retconning the events of the Logan movie. Like, they're just avoiding that because it happens later in the timeline, and they're jumping around in multiple different timelines so they can avoid the Logan timeline.
Like, for example, how is Wolverine alive
Yeah.
after Logan?
Logan takes place in 2029, totally separate thing. Logan died in Logan, not touching that.
That's how we get a version of Hugh Jackman wearing the classic Wolverine yellow costume from the comics, or possibly multiple different comic book costumes. The way Marvel's been pitching it is meant to be this big turning point during Marvel Phase 6. It's one of the early Marvel Phase 6 movies now, just based on the way they've shuffled the schedule. And when they talk about tipping point, they're talking mostly about the incursions and the time runs out storyline from the Avengers comics, where you basically lead into Secret Wars. Avengers 5 is going to be Kang Dynasty, and that's mostly the dynasty of Kangs, as we found out in the Ant-Man and the Wasp post-credit scene. And that's going to be a little bit different in that it's mostly going to be the dynasty of Kangs, as this Kang the Conqueror called them during the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania post-credit scene, like the Council of Kangs. He just called them the dynasty of Kangs. Going after the Avengers and any of the other characters from the multiverse that we've seen, like Clea, for example, that have been able to breach the multiverse, been able to cross between universes. So when they started teasing the idea of incursions during Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, the tipping point that they're talking about is Deadpool basically doing a version of Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe and just going off the rails with incursions, destroying a bunch of timelines. But that's why I've been making jokes about Deadpool Kills the Fox Marvel Universe, because Kevin Feige recasting a lot of the X-Men, the Fantastic Four characters inside the MCU, so what better way to give the Fox Marvel movies a big send-off and honor them and make fun of them a lot, canonizing them through the multiverse just like they did with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man movies, Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man movies, and Spider-Man No Way Home, and then proceed to do a version of Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, but just have him destroy or mess with the Fox Marvel Universe. I've done a couple videos about how Deadpool 3 is going to be a huge crossover with the Loki series because the TVA, Mobius, and Miss Minutes are going to be big characters in the movie. Here's how they're explaining Hugh Jackman's Wolverine in the movie, as well as pulling off a bunch of the Fox Marvel movie cameos with older actors coming back to play their characters again, like OG Fantastic Four actors, more classic X-Men actors coming back. The movie is meant to be a direct continuation of the events of Deadpool 2, where Deadpool ended the movie taking Cable's time travel device, visiting several points in his timeline as well as other timelines, changing the past, like killing a variant from his own timeline, the original weird-looking version of Deadpool in Wolverine Origins. He killed a version of himself in another timeline before he made the Green Lantern movie. He messed with baby Hitler. And they're just going to say that he continued messing with timelines in the Fox Marvel Universe until eventually he tries to save a younger Wolverine from dying earlier in his timeline, like before the events of the Logan movie.
But one day, your old pal Wade's gonna ask you to get back in the saddle again. And when he does, say yes.
And that's how Hugh Jackman's Wolverine becomes part of the plot. When they first meet, they fight like Deadpool versus Wolverine or Wolverine versus Deadpool, however you think about it. Hugh Jackman's been revealing the plot, just joking about how his Wolverine can't stand Deadpool, as you would expect. They talked about this in their big teaser video last year, but part of the joke of the characters, like the comedy of a Deadpool movie with Wolverine, is that both of them have crazy healing factors, so they would just be able to lay into each other, chopping every bit of their bodies off and healing it almost instantly, so the fight would just go on forever. Eventually, the TVA detects all the changes that Deadpool is making to the timelines. He's causing so much havoc, destroying the timelines. The TVA, Mobius, Miss Minutes come after him, and that's how they get involved in the plot. That's how they explain this is a Marvel movie, because those are core Marvel characters now in the MCU. I don't know if Tom Hiddleston's Loki will also have a cameo in the movie, because they're supposed to have so many different cameos in the movie. But while Deadpool is jumping around in his timelines, that's how they feature a lot of the cameos from the old Fox Marvel movies. Like, they're supposed to have cameos from the original Fantastic Four movies. I don't know which characters are supposed to come back right now. There have been rumors about Chris Evans coming back as his Johnny Storm. He said previously he would love to do that. It's only coming back as Captain America that he's kind of reticent about. They were going to have Fantastic Four cameos in Deadpool 2, but it was the original version of the movie back when Tim Miller was still directing it, and it would have been the Fantastic Four characters from the newer reboot version. And the funny thing is, I just posted a new Fantastic Four video for Adam Driver because it sounds like he's going to be the Mr. Fantastic in the MCU version of the team. Because we just got the Council of Kangs in Ant-Man the Wasp Quantumania, and they're going to be in Avengers 5 Kang Dynasty, like they're called the Dynasty of Kangs, we also might wind up getting a version of the Council of Reeds, so they can actually do even more with the classic Fantastic Four actors. Let me know in the comments, though, if they're going to be jumping around in a bunch of different timelines, doing Easter eggs for all the classic X-Men movies, bringing back Patrick Stewart, even bringing back Ian McKellen's Magneto character. What other characters do you want to see come back in cameo scenes? I'll do more videos for the movie when they release more teasers. They're going to be filming really soon, so we'll start getting some more footage from the actual set. Everyone click here for all my Deadpool and Wolverine videos, and click here for my new Adam Driver Fantastic Four movie video. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe and maximum effort.